Consciousness Process Intensive. This is the third webinar of this intensive, of this training. And tonight we're speaking about how to master your mind and how to direct your thoughts so that you create the results that you want, or the best results for your life. For those of you who do not know, this is a training that I've been holding since 2013, and it usually has 8 webinars. This is the, I think it's the 11th edition of the training. It's been one every year. And each year we talk during this training about methods to enhance our pranic percentage, to amplify our connection to source, to stay more connected to our spirit, to our higher self, to our soul, so that we have the perfect pranic flow in our bodies and in our energy field. And during the training, we recommend 8 methods or 8 practices that are to be included in our day-to-day life for us to be able to have this connectivity, this state of flow, this state of awareness, permanent awareness, and also the state of feeling nourished or feeling complete, so that some of us don't need physical food, or everybody that has been through this training has been able to decrease their food intake to the point where it has become very comfortable to spend time without using physical food. So this is the general theme of the Pranic Consciousness Process Intensive. And the theme of tonight has to do with how to master our minds, because it's very important in pranic journey, in a journey of reconnecting to consciousness and to our higher self, to be able, everybody that has been through this training has been able to decrease, to be able to have a very clear mind and to be able to control our minds, to monitor our minds, so that we don't let it wander around like a herd of wild horses and create random results in our life. It has been also scientifically proven that level of stillness of our minds has very much to do with how the hormonal balance and the state of satiety is happening in the body. So it has been proven that for people who meditate, for example, the mind goes from beta to alpha and from alpha to theta, and in theta state more melatonin is produced, which in turn regulates the quantity of ATP that the body is producing, and that also regulates the 2 hunger hormones, the leptin and ghrelin, that have to do with how you feel nourished or how you feel full without needing to take physical food. So basically, the stiller our mind is, the less food we need, and the more we feel complete and full and balanced in our life. So this is the scientific approach, basically, to why it's best to have our mind in peace, and why it's best to monitor our minds, and why it's best to know how to put a slower rhythm to our thoughts, or to even help the thoughts dissolve, so that our mind is clear like a blue sky, and we have a peaceful state of mind that produces, like I said, the right hormones for our general state of balance and for our pranic state as well. Because it's good to have a holistic view on this subject, but it's also very good to have the general view, also from the scientific point, so that we know what actually happens in our bodies when our mind is still, when our brain waves go into alpha and theta state with meditation, and when we have that state of feeling full and of not needing physical food, and most of all that state of connectivity, of being connected with all, of being in one with source, of being in alignment or in resonance with the universal flow. So this is what we're going to speak about tonight, about methods to put our mind to a stellar pace. And we're going to talk about it from various traditions, like yogic tradition, Buddhist tradition, and various meditation techniques. But we're also going to talk about it from the scientific perspective, like I said. The webinar is for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half in general. It can be prolonged, but it can be also shorter than what I said, because it's just a flow of energy that we follow, and we see where it takes us and what needs to be said, what needs to be done. Towards the middle or the end of this webinar, we're also going to have a pranic meditation where we connect to the universal energy, and we learn how to harness it for nourishment and for healing. We purify our fields, we realign, we resonate in a more harmonious way with this very simple exercise that I do every day, and that I'm also sharing with you during each webinar. So each webinar basically has this meditation with various forms of it, depending on who's watching and depending on what's coming, but very important for pranic flow and for pranic consciousness, because this type of meditation is actually what brings us back into alignment and more into connectivity. So stay tuned for that as well. We're gonna be live on Facebook for the next maybe 10 minutes or so. Whenever I feel it's enough, we'll cease the video, and you can watch the whole webinar by accessing the link in the description of the video. So you have a description of the video above or below, depending on where you're watching. It's either on YouTube or on Facebook. And with that link, you can either join one webinar or the whole pranic consciousness process, which has begun 2 days ago, and it's ending on July 24th. We have decided, or we have actually followed our guidance to start this training now, because it's in preparation for a very important cosmic event that is called Lion's Gate opening. And the energy fields are already preparing very much on planet Earth for that, but also around the date of July 25th, there's a very big shift in the energy rhythms, and the Mayans actually call the day of July 25th the day outside the time. So it's a big gate opening towards July 26th, and then towards this Lion Gate, which opens fully on August 8th. So I had no idea about this. I must confess, I had no idea about this when I listened to my guidance of starting this training. But in the very same day that I say yes to it, I found all the information of the cosmic alignments that have to do with it. So everything now makes sense to me, and is of course in perfect alignment with the cosmic flows. So we're basically preparing your energy bodies and energy rhythms of your physical body as well for this big opening that is more and more intense with every year. So Lion's Gate is taking place every year, but in 2019, 2020, and 2021, it's going to be more intense than it has been before, because this is an unprecedented stage in human evolution and the evolution of planet Earth, and the energy is coming from the central sun are very, very strong. So it's best that we prepare our physical bodies and our energy bodies as well, so that we can support this transformation, and that we can also deal with it in a peaceful and harmonious way without having much pain in the body and without having very many challenges. So I will tell you a little more about the time to come because I feel it's important for the ones watching. So in the Mayan tradition, this new cycle that is ending on July 24th and beginning on July 25th is called the sacred year, and is like I said, beginning on July 26th, but it's preceded by the day out of time of July 25th. And on July 25th, the ancient traditions would celebrate passing over from an old cycle to a new cycle. So basically, with the end of this with this training, we are wrapping up and ending a cycle of evolution in human history, and we are preparing for the new. That is continuing with the 26th of July that has been celebrated by Mayans and Egyptians as the moment when the time space is renewed, or as the moment when we're fully aligned with the creative intelligence and we're moving into a new cycle. And with that, we move towards the Lion's Gate and we move towards the Pranic festival in Romania. That is no wonder that is placed around the same date. And each year we're utilizing the same date for this festival because it has to do with the cosmic rhythms and with these big openings that is happening during July and August. So July 15 to 19, we're having the Pranic festival in Romania, and then the trip of the sun. That is the journey to the most important energy vortexes or pre-Christian sun worshipping temples of Romania. And then we connect there with the central sun power and with the power of the vortexes of the Romanian sacred sites. And we journey further towards the Romanian Sphinx until August 22nd. And on August 23rd, we begin a retreat in Romania called Detox and Prana, also around these very important Romanian planetary vortexes that is gonna wrap up practically all this series of events and all these preparations for your energy body to be able to support your evolution fully and without challenges, with joy and ease and grace. So we're doing our best to give you this the elements for this journey to be smoother for those of you who are joining us, and for those of you who feel the call in your heart to participate to these events, is because you are a big part of the evolution of humanity and you have an important role to play and you are being prepared for that. So just so you know, it's not randomly that you've chosen to participate, to be here tonight and to also participate to the festival and to the other events that you've subscribed to. Those of you who are present and you have subscribed these, you are one of the important players in this game of evolution, and you have a big role in it, and it's best that you prepare accordingly. Because even me personally, I'm getting challenged in this sense to be able to enhance and to transceive, to pass through my body a larger quantity of energy, larger amounts or volumes of energy that are required for this time and for the large masses of people that I meet. And my body, even though detoxed and on the pranic path for 10 years now, is sometimes being challenged because there's in each one of us according to what we've chosen to do and the amount and level that we've chosen to get to, there's some important calibration that is going on now. So to me personally, it has to do with meeting large masses of people. Like I have to walk through large malls and big stores every day, or airports and so on, and big cities, you know, that is also preparing these places for what's coming up next. And I also get a lot of recalibration that has to do with communication and electronics. So basically all my technology is the devices I'm using and everything is shifting now. It has to be upgraded, and I'm working on it because I'm not at all a tech gig at all. And I am, you know, I'm having quite a difficult time with choosing the right things and staying tuned to know what's best for my work now in terms of technology. But, you know, these are my challenges, and I'm looking forward to hear in comments, what are you dealing with during these times? Because I know each one of you present is having some specific thing that you're working on, and that could be maybe helped with the right questions to ask, and with the, of course, mind mastery. So the theme of tonight, mind mastery, is like very important in this time of great shifts, because nothing is like it has been before. Nothing. So in other words, be prepared to forget everything you thought you knew. And especially for the scientific ones, for the ones who need a mind explanation for everything that's happening, for those of you who need to know what's what in every moment, and who do not make choices without knowing the end result and the outcome and the whys and the hows, this is going to be pants dropping for some of you, because nothing is like it was before. Totally new energies are coming in. And all the techniques and practices and rules that we used to know are changing. So the best thing to do during these times is to let your mind go and let the chi flow. I'm going to also repeat this mantra 3 times. Let your mind go, let the chi flow. Let your mind go, let the chi flow is the only thing to do. Everything you thought you knew might no longer apply in this 4D to 5D transition. So all the rules that you've played by before are maybe no longer useful or to be utilized in the new paradigm that we're stepping in, because everything in this new paradigm is different that you knew before. The density of the matter, the density of your bodies, the nourishment that you needed or you're gonna need, the way manifestation functions, the way people's minds are functioning, even traffic is changing, everything is changing. And it's changing at a very rapid pace. And especially in this phase where we're between worlds, as I call it, many of us are between worlds. And those of you who are feeling a little scattered, those of you who are feeling a little discombobulated, those of you who are feeling a little like you can't get a grasp of your life anymore, are still in the transition phase, are still transitioning. Also, those of you who have been through several pranic processes or trainings or workshops, and that have to do with the raising the vibration and the evolution of consciousness, and that are probably coming home and then feeling, you know, you felt good, you've had a peak of energy during these trainings, and then you feel like going down again because the energies are not that high anymore. It is very important for you to be able to master your minds and to not judge the situation, to not put labels on it, to not think that you've you're not good enough because you haven't made it maybe to be fully pranic, and so on and so forth. That has nothing to do, this has nothing to do with achievements. This is, like I said, a process. And like any process, it takes a while for some to integrate. And it, of course, takes practice. So that's why we've created and supported this type of webinars and also in live transmissions, to help people get into the right rhythm and the best lifestyle for them, the right spiritual practices for them, and the daily routine, not necessarily just spiritual practice, but daily routine to help you stay in a balanced rhythm and help you have the right vibration, the right frequency to be able to cope with this energy. Maybe I'm repeating myself a bit, but I'm seeing all the new ones coming in, and I'm also saying this for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Please let me know which is the city that you're joining from, just to know how far we reach with this webinar, with this transmission, and to also help us tune into that area of the globe or of the country to be able to anchor the energy there. We're doing this energetically also, but physically, we know the cities that we're connecting to is even easier to spread the energy, because in each city we're building or stabilizing a pranic vortex or a pranic portal or a pranic grid of nourishment for you to be supported, for you to be encouraged on your path, for you to be easier to maintain this level of consciousness that, I must tell you, is not easy for anyone in these days. No one is having a smooth ride, or very few of us are having a smooth ride, because it's a time of looking under the rocks, taking everything off, taking the garbage out, letting go of all that no longer serves us, letting go of all the programming, all the thought patterns, all the things that you were convinced are true and that are actually no longer being true, or no longer being available in this new dimensional frequency. So that is what challenges most of you and most of the people that I'm talking to, the clients that I'm having, and the people that are participating in classes. So because I know this, I'm still supporting this series of events. So far so good. We've been like 20 minutes, I guess, into this webinar. I'm hoping that you're still seeing the link that I've put here next to the video. If you don't, I'm just gonna copy the link address and post it in the comments for those of you who are interested in joining me for the full webinar to be able to participate. Or if you do want to join me and it's too complicated for you to now make the payments or the donations required, you can just tell me that you want to stay for the full webinar, and you just make the energy exchange after, because we're in the flow now, and maybe you do not want to interrupt yourself, and maybe you didn't know about this yesterday or so that you didn't have the time to subscribe. So you can let me know in your comments, and also if you have questions for this theme of how to master your mind and how to deprogram your mind, please ask them in the comments. I'm still going to be online on Facebook a little bit just to see your comments or questions. And please ask your questions and let me know what do you want to know. So I'm preparing to go off Facebook in just a few moments. Make sure you check the link that I mentioned and that I've been posting in the comments, so that you can join me on YouTube and stay with us for the full webinar, because I know for some of you it is important that you stay stay with us. Deep breath. And yes, for the new of you who did not know me before or haven't heard of me before, I'm working a lot with deprogramming and reprogramming the mind. It's one of the main aspects of my work. I have done this through workshops and education in general, in any way, shape, or form, either YouTube or workshops or posts, and the books, the books that I've written, and everything else that I'm sending out there. But at a more deeper level, I'm doing this through a reprogramming or healing technique that I'm calling soul healing, where we go at the soul level or align with the soul frequency, and from there we uncover the programs that your mind is harboring on, that are creating the results in your life, the results that maybe you do not enjoy very much. And once finding these programs, we deprogram them, as I say, we change them, we shift them and replace them with more beneficial programs for your mind, your subconscious, and your energy field as well. So not only we're working at the level of the mind on all levels, but also at the level of the energy field, because that's very important too. That's crucial for an overall result and an overall evolution. So this is what I do with my therapy and counseling, and you can find more about it on the website soulhealingacademy.com. There's a section there in the upper bar called Soul Healing, and you find everything about it. And we've actually created a package of 7 sessions. In each session, we deprogram 1 chakra. So it's called the 7 chakra package, because we're working with the chakras and the programs that are related to each of the chakras. So those of you who have studied the yogi tradition know that each chakra is having a certain vibration, a certain role in your energy field, but also a certain array of programs or beliefs or affirmations that are specific to that energy vortex of your energy body. And once we deprogram the specific aspects of that chakra, the person totally shifts their inner and outer results. So the inner results in terms of health and how the energy flows and everything, and the outer results in terms of what's happening in their lives and how their relationships are, or how the situation that they've chosen to resolve within the therapy is shifting. So that's what we do with reprogramming the mind, or mind mastery, in my healing sessions. But tonight, specifically, we're going to work on the general programs that have to do with pranic consciousness and pranic reality, and also the ability of being nourished by energy. And we're going to do some reprogramming at that level. And we'll also be working with the frequency of limitlessness. You know, so far in 3D, because you had a body, because you had this apparent limiting shape, you felt, many of you, limited. You felt hindered. You felt like you couldn't move right through the world with the same speed that you've maybe learned in the higher realms. Now this is shifting. We have studies that have proven that the body is changing, the physical body is changing from carbon to crystal, which is a big shift in density, which of course means that we need a different type of fuel or physical food, or a different type of food in general, for this new type of body that we are creating. And it also means that the density and the capacities of our body are completely shifting in and upgrading for each one of us. So those of you who have stayed on the planet so far, because some have gone already, those of you who have stayed on the planet so far are surely, surely, surely being recalibrated into this shift. So if you're feeling that you need to eat lighter food, or that the food that you've had before just doesn't taste the same, or the body does not react well to it, if you feel that you are having more and more powerful intuitive insights every day, that you are feeling more alignment, more connected, but also confused from the perspective of what's happening to the body, and how you relate to food lately, and how you relate to even the people around you and the family and so on, then this is the place to be, because we're going to clear some and clarify some things up with this webinar. But this is all I'm going to divulge so far. This is all I'm going to share. Those of you who want to know more, please join us with the link that I've posted in the comments and in the description of the video. And looking forward to meeting you in the continuation of this meeting, or of course also for the other webinars that we're having each night at between 8 and 10 p.m. And looking forward to meeting you as well at the Pranic Festival in Romania. You do not want to miss this one. And during the Trip of the Sun and the retreat after. And in September, we also have a beautiful retreat in Bali at a very, very beautiful spa center, or healing center. And we're going to work with the vortexes there and with the pranic flow there. So it's called Prana and Sound, because we also have crystal balls and healing sounds during the retreat. One of the co-facilitators, called Naida Moon, very beautiful light being in human form, is doing the sound work for us and the sound healing, while I'm doing the part of meditations and exercises for the pranic consciousness. So it's going to be an epic journey as well. But until then, we're looking forward to continue with you tonight for maybe another 30 minutes or more, and to do the meditation, that pranic meditation of clearing, cleansing, and energizing that I have promised. That if you follow us on the continuation of this webinar by clicking on the link and doing your subscription. Many hugs of love for those of you who have joined, and hope to see you also next. And for the rest of you, blessings, 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 and see you in the next video. Many hugs. So I'm just taking a moment, those of you watching on YouTube, to be able to finish this, and then I'm continuing with the presentation, but I'm now preparing the next video for what it has to be shared, and I'm looking forward to see what comes for you, especially during the meditation, because it's amazing what can be shared with meditation in this training. Like every evening, I myself get very deep recalibrations and very powerful insights by working with you and by working during this training. And for so many years, time and time again, it has never ceased to amaze me what this training can do to the participants, but also to me while I'm teaching it. So it's amazing. It's an amazing journey to have. Okay, so far so good. We're being streaming live soon on Facebook as well. That's why I'm taking some time to prepare this. And before anything else, just make sure you place questions in the in the comments if you want to have a very specific and personalized experience of this training. Because as you know, as I've said in the other evenings as well, I'm never just sharing an information that I feel or that I've prepared in advance and want to just deliver because I think it's good for you. I want to share specific information that I'm sure you need by following your questions and insights on this. So that's why I'm advising everyone to place questions and comments and to help me with this, because it's I found it's a better way to do these webinars. It's a better and more direct and more efficient way to do this. Taking a quick break here to relax and prepare the technology for this. As I'm working on two platforms at the same time, is always interesting to be able to work with both of them. And it's teaching me a lot about my mastery, actually, because it has to do with how powerfully I'm able to focus while I'm doing all the other things of all the technological stuff, which as you know, it's quite interesting for me every time. But yeah, I did it. First and foremost, I'm wondering what mind mastery means to you, because surely it's a different definition for each one of us. So each one is having their specific frame of reference when we talk about mind mastery, and each one is having their specific way of looking at it. For me, mind mastery means that you are able to monitor your thoughts, you observe them at all times, you know where they, even though you do not always, let's say, put a stop to them or cancel them and silence your mind, you always know where they come from. You know, from the perspective of knowing your energy system, your chakras, your ways of communing to the ones around you, because most of the times, I'm going to say this, most of the times your thoughts are not even yours. They are not even created by you. Most of the times your thoughts are imprints of either the programs that you've had during childhood, the things that you've learned from your tutors or the persons you admired and you wanted to learn from, the things that you've picked up energetically from the people that you've interacted with, the things that have been transmitted to you at the genetic level or historical level, as we call it. Genetic level means through the blood lineage, through the family lineage, and historical level means from the nation that you've come into. That each nation has specific programs, a specific set of beliefs that are sometimes only found in that specific nationality. And that's also imprinting you and the way you think about your life and what you believe is true about your life. And so your thoughts are not yours, most of them. And that's why it's so important to monitor your mind and to know when you get virused by the thoughts of others, or you can, when your mind is randomly playing what others believe that is true and what for you might not be even close to truth, what not be even would not be even an aspect to consider. So being able to monitor your thoughts and see what you're thinking of is very useful, because when you do that, actually filtering out the things that are not necessary, not beneficial, or not producing the right results in your life. How to filter that out? That's a very good question. Well, by just saying thank you, but no thank you when such a thought is coming, or when somebody is trying to bring you their perspective of the things and you see, you feel that this is not an alignment with your own energy, you could say the same thank you, but no thank you, or I'll think about it and try to see a different perspective that sets you free from the burden of taking that in. You know, people expect to take, for you to take in what they suggest or propose, but you don't have to. And the very beautiful way to do that is at the outside level, at the communication level, to just say, I'm thinking about it, or I'm gonna ponder upon it, or I'm gonna look at it and see how it feels, or just simply let's agree. I say let's agree to disagree when something is really not in alignment with my own frequency, and the person tries to convince me of something. I'm not denying his point of view. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying, you know, what you think is not at all true. I'm just saying, let's agree to disagree. I'm giving the other person the right to have their own thoughts and beliefs and system of reference. And I'm giving myself the right to also have my own system of reference that may or might not be better than the other person's, but it's what I feel I'm aligned with. So I'm not feeling, you know, obliged to take in other people's ideas or beliefs whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. So that's what we recommend, the two things, to say at the internal level, cancel, clear, delete, or thank you, but no thank you. And at the external level, to either be, you know, polite and not and enter a polemic about it, or just say that you want to preserve your own point of view while you are giving the other person the permission to preserve hers or his. So that's one situation to deal with while deprogramming or detoxing your mind. Another important thing is to, like I was just saying, detox your mind from what you've been already imprinted off. So one thing is to not take in any more garbage, and the other important thing is to take off the garbage that is already there. How do you find it? Well, with diligence, either in meditation, for some of you, for those of you who are trained to work with the subconscious and to see the deepest and the deepest motivations or mechanisms that you're acting from. And it's very good that you can do that, and you can then go behind them and deprogram them and replace that with something more beneficial. Or if you are not trained to do this and you are really unable to see the connections between cause and effect in your life, between what you thought and what is happening, between how you are emanating and how your relationships are coming back. If you're not able to, or you haven't been trained, not that everybody's able to do this, but if you haven't been trained to do this, Just know that I can help you during the sessions of counseling and healing that I'm doing with the soul healing method. And it's very easy during a session or a set of sessions to discover what are your mechanisms and how they function. And people are just surprised and in awe when we find together why they have created a situation in their lives and why they have gone through tough time and breakups and suffering and illnesses sometimes, or job being shifted so many times and so on, just to maybe gain a virtue or to heal something from another lifetime or to do something like that that you wouldn't even think of because you do not know about it. You do not, most of the people can't see it. Most of the people cannot see there are other lifetimes. Most of the people cannot see their subconscious beliefs. So it's very important that you find someone that can help you with that, either us or somebody else that you feel comfortable with. I'm gonna, because this camera is not placed correctly. Like I said, for me, technology now is a big thing these weeks. And I'm constantly adjusting something at the level around me, but hopefully everything will fall into place by the end of this training in that respect, because, you know, I've had enough. Another important way of deprogramming a situation or a mental pattern is when you say, I've had enough, I'm done, I want new, I want more, I want better, I want something else that's more beneficial for me. I want it simple, I want it clear, I want it now. When you finally make the decision, but not as a superficial level, you know, like, I want enough, I've had enough, maybe I'll change, maybe I won't. No, at a very deep level, I've had enough and I'm changing now. And whatever it needs to, whatever it needs to happen that I change, I take it and I accept it and I do it and I take whatever steps and so on and so forth, because I need that change. That's the attitude of I've had enough. So if you've had enough in some area of your life, or most areas of your life, because everything is now shifted, as we know, then say it to yourself, say it to others if necessary, and do the action steps that are, pointing towards the completion of that stage and the beginning of a new one. Because it's very often said in life coaching or motivational speeches, and also in the movie, I think I heard it, you cannot have a different outcome if you keep taking the same steps. You cannot have a different outcome, I would say, if you keep thinking the same thoughts. So if you want a different outcome, the best, most beneficial way to have it is to change your thoughts, and then, of course, the way of acting. That's very important as well. Because if you've shifted your thoughts, but you randomly or out of habit do the same actions, then maybe the situation is not going to fully shift. You need to change and shift at all the levels. So once you've changed it, you changed your thoughts, the energy field is shifting. You're going to feel discomfort if you take the same actions, or if you meet the same people, or if you do the same things that were supporting the old programs. If you choose to ignore that discomfort and go against the tide and keep continuing with the old actions, then of course this more discomfort is coming in, more struggle, more challenge. So just go with the flow, don't fight against it, let everything that needs to go out of your life just go out of your life, and have the courage to accept that something new and better is coming from you, for you, once you've integrated that situation. So once you're no longer, I don't know who I'm talking for now, but I'm convinced somebody is having goosebumps at the moment. So once you've started a certain change, for sure you are ready for it, and for sure you are at the time where something else is cooking for you. But if you do not let go of the old, like old programming, old ways of thinking, old fears even, and old attachments and old how to call it, old clinging to certain people. I'm feeling this is about a relationship that I'm talking about. If you do not do that, then of course the new doesn't have an open gate to come in and the open space to stabilize in. So make sure you open your gate and clear your space, because it's coming, darling. So just make sure you do that, whoever I'm speaking to. So yeah, you've done the deprogramming, you've mastered your mind, you've looked at all the junk but below the carpet. What next? What next is to take action in the direction of the new programs. Once you've mastered your mind and saw what needed to be changed at the subconscious level, even at the energy level, take action. Do not postpone it, and do not go habitual. That means do not go on the old patterns. Even if you have new program, it's gonna hurt. So with the new programs that you're putting in, if you did the programming, or if you're working with mind mastery, with affirmations, with whatever it is that you're working with the new programs, the old paradigms are going to hurt, are going to be challenging, are going to be impacting you in a way that is hard to take, and that's why you've got to change. Or unless you really like pain and suffering and struggling, and that's also part of old programming, because in the 50, there's no such thing. People are acting harmoniously, are in the flow, are in alignment with the universal flow source, and of course their life is joy and ease and grace. So that's what we're heading towards at the moment, and I'm hoping that those of you watching are ready for this, because it is happening, and is not that we're ever gonna like get sick from too much goodness. Let it come. I'm just saying, let it come, because it's time. Yes. So mind mastery, mind programming. I also feel to say something important about affirmation. So many people now do, and thanks to Louise Hay and other coaches out there, have been aware for quite a while of the benefits of affirmations. So they have been doing affirmations, they have been working with this type of deprogramming, maybe using subliminals with affirmations as well. That's good, that's excellent, that's amazing. But there's sometimes a but in the situation. If you have used affirmations which are creating new programs and new neural pathways, and did not clear the old programs, for most people the two will work in parallel and sabotage each other. The old paradigm created by old mental programs, and the new paradigm created by affirmations and subliminal work are going to work in parallel and sabotage each other, so that you are not truly aware that some of the old thing is still going on, because it will look differently, it will present itself differently, and it will seem like it's something new. But it has the same old programs at the base of it. And the new paradigms are not going to stabilize fully, also because you're having two contradictory realities or mind sets at the same time. So what happens to some people who do make affirmations for quite a while is that they do make the affirmations, they do get some results, some get astonishing results. Like for example, let's talk about wealth. Yes, they go from poverty to wealth. They build mansions. They build companies, they take real estate very seriously, and they start investing. They grow and grow and grow and grow their income, and then at some point in their lives, when they don't even think about it, everything falls apart or starts to shrink again, back to the old paradigm. Why? Because there's an old, undiscovered, unshifted program in the subconscious and in the energy field that maybe comes from some ancestor that believed that richness is bad, or that believed that whatever is the case, you know, that women are not good, and that is hindering the person from having either abundance or fulfilling relationship, or both in some cases. So that old program is very, very deep under the carpet, and is not visible at all because it's covered by all the affirmations and all the programmings and visualizations and all the things that you put on top of it. But it's still running in the background, causing the biocomputer to not function properly. What we need to do is to go deep, deep, deep through lifetimes and through ancestral programming as well, and really see where it comes from, and from there unblock it, erase it, cancel, clear, delete it, Shazam it, like some girl that I like is saying, so that truly the new reality created with reprogramming, with affirmations and so on, visualization, can stabilize and stay there. Stabilize means actually stay, but I'm making sure to emphasize this, because we don't want it just for some years. We don't want it just for a while. We don't want it just for a blink of an eye. We want it for good. The joy and the ease and the grace and the abundance and the beautiful relationships and everything else, we want them for good. So that has been another thing that I feel is very important. I also written an article about it, and I feel I've spoken about it a lot, because it's important that we work at a deep and profound level and not only at the surface of things. So we're far from the shallow now, like the song says. What else? About my mastery, I could talk for ages. It's such a vast and intricate subject. The Zen have their own very deep tradition in this. The yogis as well, the Tibetans, I couldn't even begin to talk about how strong their belief in mind mastery it is. So they are studying and studying and studied for ages, and it all has to do, and practicing as well, meditations and all that, and it all has to do with how to master the mind. So for me, Tibetans and Zen masters are some of the strongest in this field, because they are literally co-creators or reorchestrating realities at the blink of an eye, and the capacity to do that is astonishing or you know, from an ordinary point of view. So just to mention that in Tibetan monasteries have been discovered people that have been prolonged their life for hundreds and hundreds of years, or have dematerialized their bodies into the rainbow body when they decided to leave this planet. People that were, or masters that were working with matter like it's water, you know, very, like it's completely undense. And they knew even with stone how to dematerialize it and make it soft. And some of them were used to place their hand imprint on the walls of the cave where they were meditating, just to show that the possibility of dematerializing or softening the matter is something that's very easy to do for them, or footprints as well, and so on. What else? They've been able to, like I said, dematerialize, rematerialize their bodies, duplicate their bodies, instant healing, remote viewing, that's very ordinary for them, and the ability to recreate their bodies into physical shape even after their death or retreat from the physical plane is one of the abilities that has to very much to do with mind mastery. So I'm just asking, would you like to do that, you know, and not have to use a plane every time you want to go from A to B with luggages and all? I know I would like to do that. And I'm looking forward for the time in human evolution where I'll be able to do it again. Mind mastery. I can't stress enough on how much important it is, not only for yourself, but also for all the ones around you and for humanity. Every thought that we are thinking is creating a reality, or we could call it a thought form, that is staying out there somewhere, waiting for it to be manifested. So everything that you've ever thought, it's going to be manifested sooner or later in a certain timeline or a certain universe, if you will. So from that perspective, you want to be mindful. Nothing is just thoughts, and nothing is just, oh, I was just thinking, I didn't say anything. Well, if you were just thinking, you are just creating another world in which that just thought is being manifested. Or maybe it's going to be manifested in this world, but just know that it's coming true, whatever it was. So the just in the phrase is melting down as we speak, because it has no sense. For those of you who have already practiced yoga, you know the stages of mind peace, and you know that the last one is the samadhi, where the mind completely ceases to run in the background, because for the yogis and Tibetans, mind is like a virus tool that keeps playing without your permission to play. And the very goal of the yogic and Tibetan practices is to be able to put a stop to it, and after putting a stop to it at will, directing the mind at will. So after you no longer utilizing the mind as a virus system, you can actually cleanse it and utilize it as a very important co-creating tool. So that's when the fun begins. But there are some steps to that, and one of them is very much involved with lightening up the diet, because your thoughts are not only coming from your brain, they are also very much coming from the second brain, which is the gut area, that generates actually a lot of thought and thought forms and moods in your system. And you will notice, no wonder that most traditions you utilized and recommended fasting to purify the mind. You will notice that the more you go without food or with light food, the more peaceful and the purer in thought your mind is. Why? Because the information that you put in your body as food is turning into energy that is feeding information into your mind and into your moods, making you either peaceful and centered and alkaline in thinking, or agitated and permanently angry and racing and in anxiety through your mind. So that's the big difference between a healthy and light diet and the one that is cluttered. The ability to master the mind. And of course, health of the physical body and all the rest. But very much has to do with how your mind is clear and focused and utilized as a tool, not as a virus system. Another important thing in mind mastery is sometimes exercise, because no wonder yoga has invented or downloaded so many physical asanas or specific body postures during the yogic practice. What they actually do is that they still the mind and they press on certain nerve groups that or certain areas that have relation with certain nerve groups, helping your mind to be stiller and helping your mind to be reshaped, reprogrammed. So if you do yoga and you in parallel work on your chakras or work on your programs that have to do with each chakra, because each chakra is connecting to a set of body postures and also connecting to a set of beliefs, yes? And if you work on that during your yoga, actually your mind is going to be cleansed, purified, and beautified only by this practice alone. So no wonder that the yogis were practicing this every day. It was because not only it strengthened and healthy breath brought a healthier body, but yoga and body postures in yoga are actually a practice for the mind. And for me, before, when I was eating normal, vegetarian food and living in a busier city and my mind was more agitated, yoga was the thing that would do it when I couldn't deal with anything else to still my mind and to rest my mind. So when meditation didn't work, when dancing and other things didn't work, yoga was always showing good results because I was working with my body physically, with the energy body and with the mind at the same time. It was and it is an amazing practice for me. So I highly recommend it. So before we go, as promised, we're going to do a quick meditation to wrap up this stream of insights, this webinar. If you have further questions, feel free to ask them on the YouTube comments or in an email or direct message on Facebook if you want to find out something in particular. And if not, we are going slowly into the meditation to end this webinar and to have dinner with you in a Pranic way. So big deep breaths. Breathing in slowly, we fill ourselves with light. We imagine that each one of us is having a light column or a light cylinder around us, each one in his own color, in his own specific energy. We're starting to breathe deeply, allowing the body to relax fully in this energy that is flowing in now. And with every breath, we draw in more light, more love from this light column into the body. We feel the pores of the skin expanding and opening for the light to come in with every breath from the column around you. You imagine this light column with a diameter like your hand stretched out. And you imagine it flowing around you and through you at the same time. Breath in, taking in more light, and with the exhale, you exhale out the tensions, the thoughts, the concerns, everything that doesn't serve you, everything that is not beneficial for you. Deep breath in, inhale, relax, more light coming in from the pores of your skin into your body. Expanding like breathing through your whole body. Deep breath out, you exhale out all the thoughts, worries, concerns, thought forms dissolving like clouds above your head. Everything stays clear. Deep breath in, centering in the heart. We continue with shedding everything that is not beneficial and energizing the heart as well. Heart chakra. Deep breath in through the top of our head. We have a connection cable that comes deeper into the crown and into your heart. This connection cable, you are noticing it with every breath, and you are sensing that it brings more and more light into your heart chakra and more energy from the heart of the central sun. And with each exhale, now you exhale the light from your heart chakra into the cells, into the organs, into the auric field, and out into the universe. Deep breath in, more and more light coming through this connection cable into your crown and heart chakra. Deep breath in, allowing this energy from the heart chakra to fill your cells, your organs, all your physical systems, then the auric field, and then out into the universe. We allow this energy to flow down through the soles of the feet as well, into the earth, connecting to the heart of Gaia. We release the tensions that no longer serves us, that is of an yin nature, to go towards the heart of Gaia, knowing that they are transmuted. And from the heart of Gaia, we receive this stream of light, this energy up into the soles of the feet, the ankles, the knees, the thighs, the hips, the lower back, the upper back, the chest to the tip of your fingers, and the face with neck and all the face and hair. Let me know how it is all filled with light. And once you've been filled with light, the whole body coming, this energy coming from the center of the earth through the soles of the feet, constantly into the perineum, into your whole body. And once you've been also connected to the center of the universe through the crown chakra and receiving energy into your heart, we mix those two, and once your body is full, it's going out into a toroidal system, forming a sphere around you. So you have a sphere around you with this mix of energies, yin and yang, that is coming out through the top of your body, mixing and filtering and harmoniously nourishing you, so that the radiation, the Wi-Fi, everything that is not beneficial stays outside. So looking forward to see you next time. And big hugs of love for everyone. And just please know that this workshop has been held in the presence or the theme has been recommended by Saint Germain, a master of alchemy, but also a master of immortality that has never actually been seen dying and has been appearing, even though it's 600 years since he was born, or so, approximately. He's still appearing in big gatherings sometimes when there's spiritual things to assess, and he's always looking young and very beautiful. So that's another beautiful result of mind mastery, preserving the youth and reinforcing the habits that are keeping us on that path. So Saint Germain is recommending mind mastery, is recommending to always monitor the thoughts and have a clear mind and go in the direction of having a clear mind. So we thank him and all the Ascended Masters presence. And we ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can connect energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can connect energetically and telepathically with us now, and only the beings of the purest light and love can connect energetically and telepathically with us. So with this, and during the night, may you be nourished and recalibrated and fully blessed with this light that we've gathered now. And see you next time tomorrow around 8, between 8 and 10, to the next theme, which is how to lighten up the diet, how to go in a lighter diet and have not only a healthier body, but a higher state of consciousness as well, and a peaceful mind. Big hugs and blessings. See you next time, and blessings from Romania. And hopefully we'll be seeing each other as well at the Pranic Festival in Romania and the Trip of the Sun and all the other beautiful places. Many hugs. Ciao.